Hey guys, MD Prepper here, another gun review. This time on a low-cost AR-15 for about 500 bucks. Built this quite a few years ago, but had a little encounter at the range today that decided this would be a good review to make. Had a good buddy of mine from back in high school, hadn't seen him, I don't know, 12, 13 years, showed up at the range today and started shooting. He'd never fired an AR-15 before, and I happened to have one of my better ones with me. Fired one for the first time, absolutely fell in love with it. His line was, I've never fired one before, but I've got to have one of these. Can't say I blame him. ARs are good little fun guns. Only problem was, when he asked me how much it cost, I told him, and obvious sticker shock. He's your kind of average working class guy, doesn't have a ridiculous amount of money to throw around, what with family and all of that. And I said, you know what? I need to introduce you to my cheaper guns. One that I built quite a few years ago, and this is it. I didn't have it with me at the time, but I think you'll get to see it next time. I built this thing years ago when I also had very little cash and wanted just an AR just to play around with, see if I liked them or not. Obviously I do. Again, so it's sort of a two-part review. We're going to review the lower, which should probably be its own review, and then the whole rifle together. We're going to start off with the lower. This is a Plum Crazy Firearms, though you're not going to find them listed as that anymore. They're PCF firearms. This is the C15 or Carbon 15 lower. This thing is all plastic, baby. Carbon build. If you see it, every little thing about this is carbon fiber. Very strong, very resilient. You're going to hear a lot of people badmouth this little thing because it's low cost. I'm not going to say it's cheap. It's low cost. Low cost does not necessarily mean junk. This thing cost me $99 at my local gun show. I think the price has gone up to about $119 in the last few months. I bought one of these just to play around with. Had found an AR upper for a ridiculously low price and wanted to give ARs a try. So I figured, what the heck, for 100 bucks I'm not out much. I absolutely love this thing. This is a great little lower. Is it as nice as Bushmasters or some of the higher end DPMS rifles, that type of stuff I've got? No, it's not as nice as those, but again, this thing cost about half the price overall once you get to the actual rifle, the upper and everything else. This is a perfectly functional AR rifle. Even the trigger group, they call it AccuTrigger group, I believe, even that, the hammer and everything else is polymer. Other than the spring and everything in there, everything is this carbon fiber polymer. It works just fine. I've had zero problems with it. I've got about 700 rounds through this one and liked it so much I went out and bought one more just to have around. Again, got your standard AR safety. Is it as smooth of a click as your other ones that you're going to run into? No, but it's perfectly fine. The trigger pull, again, not a nice, ultra nice 3-pound trigger pull, but it is a decent was it about 4.5 to 5 pound trigger pull with absolutely no creep in it at all. Very crisp. They don't particularly recommend you dry fire this, but just figured I'd show you guys. Again, standard AR lower in every other respect. Retractable stock comes with it. Your standard AR type grips, which I'm not a huge fan of, you can switch these out just like any other AR I did with the other lower I've got. I just kept this one the same just to keep the cost down, just to show how much fun you can have for not a lot of money. Again, everything about this is interchangeable with your standard AR. Came with your standard rear here, but I had it switched out to a single sling attachment, if you can see that. Just because I didn't like the option with my upper for my slings. All I had was this back rear, if you can see that, attachment. Basically, I did not have an upper attachment for a sling with this particular kit. So I added this for an extra $8, $9 just for a little bit of fun. I didn't have any other single point slings on my ARs, so I played around with that too. For $100, you got to pick one of these up. Even if this is not your primary rifle, it doesn't have to be. Let this be your beater. This thing's black impregnated all the way through, so if you scratch it, beat it up, don't have to worry about it. It's still going to look nice and pretty and black overall. Nice and tactical. Great, great little lower for 99 bucks or 110, 120, what you'll find them going for out there. Now, the next half of this, I wanted to build a cheap little knock-around AR that I didn't have to worry about beating up. It took me a while looking around. There's a few more suppliers these days from when I bought this one. But Midway USA had a special, and they still do have specials fairly regularly, on their DPMS uppers. So I got this bad boy. Let me move Mr. Plum Crazy out of the way. This is your Sportical upper receiver, complete with the bolt assembly and everything else. Low profile sights, all that type of stuff. No sights come with this, but the attachment for the Picatinny rail here, and you got your Picatinny gas block for backup iron sights. The whole thing, again, minus this reflex sight, was $350. They typically run about $400. You can find them $350 or a little less for cheap. Now, people say, well, this isn't the best AR upper. Well, no, but it's perfectly functional. It does not have a dust cover. Cuts down on weight and cost. Again, unless I'm in the deserts of Iraq or the mountains of Afghanistan, I don't really know if I need that dust cover just for out on the range plinking, having a good time. I keep my guns clean overall. Live here in the southeast. We don't have dust storms or anything like that. Maybe you need a dust cover if you're out west, but I've not had any problems with dust or grime or grit. Of course, comes with the standard bolt assembly here. You can trade that out for anything else if you want to, but again, for this little cost of a gun, why would you? Has the glacier guards up here. This thing is a 16-inch barrel with a 1 in 9 twist. Has your little muzzle brake flash hider there, kind of standard for your ARs. This has a lightweight barrel here, so no, it's not a bull barrel, and no, I'm not going to fire 500 rounds in short succession with good accuracy with this. But again, fun little gun. Not bad to have as a backup in the zombie apocalypse, that sort of thing. If you got a second shooter with you, I actually keep this total rifle kit in my vehicle at all times, just as a knockabout rifle. SHTF get home type rifle. Good little thing. Again, about $350 for this lower. Got that Midway USA. Other places you can get them for cheap these days. Palmetto State Armory here in my home state of South Carolina has some good looking AR uppers for a very reasonable price. I've not picked one of those up yet, but I think it may be calling to me. Add this other Plum Crazy lower. Again, $350, hard to beat. Delton, again, you can get them for about $400 there. Various options, that type stuff. Flat tops versus the A2 front sides with the front side attached. All of that. Good overall. Again, $350 to $400. You can have a fair upper receiver that's not going to cost you a fortune. I bought this NC Star cheap little reflex sight for $25, maybe $30. I think they run a little more these days. You'll hear people badmouth them. I've got several of these on several rifles. Have had zero problems with them. Obviously, reflex sight. You got 4 different settings here on the back. Now, this isn't really a review on the reflex sight, but I like the single little red dot as opposed to the reticles and all that, just for my personal preferences. And here's the rifle overall. Let me put this bad boy together. Here's obviously our receiver. Hang on just a second. I should do this quicker in my lap. And obviously it takes longer on camera. There you go. A good looking little rifle. Carbine, if you will. Flip side there, of course. Again, nothing real special about it, but it does the job real well. I have, as you see it right here, about $470, I think, with it, with nothing else, including this little single point sling attachment. I've done a little bit more to this rifle that I don't have on here. I do have some backup iron sights for here and here. Took those off just because you don't absolutely have to have that if this is just a plinker messing around rifle. If you want this for combat, and heaven forbid your red dot goes out, you're going to have some backup sights, but not really the idea of this weapon. Again, under $500, very high quality for what you get. Just slap the two together, I've had no problems. I have fired, I believe, 700 to maybe 800 rounds through this thing without a hiccup, other than shooting that cheap steel case garbage, the Tula ammo, the Russian stuff, just like all my other ARs. They don't like it after about a box. Other than that, it is fired 223, 556, military grade type stuff, down to your cheaper type South Korean ammo. All of it has fired perfectly fine. Very accurate rifle. Like the trigger a lot. And again, some people may worry about some cheap plastic lower from somebody called Plum Crazy. Well, let me tell you, these guys are out of Lake Havasu City, Arizona. This is the same place that makes the Bushmaster Carbon 15 lowers. I've got one of those in the pistol form. I will have to do a review of that at some point. Both of them made in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. I have a hard time believing there's a lot of polymer AR lower manufacturers, all of them happening to be in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. I would guess this came out of the same place or the same line as my Bushmaster, which I love a lot. Again, $500. This is well within range of almost all of your shooters. It's only maybe $50, maybe the same price, higher than your AK-47. So it's a good knockaround rifle. Highly recommend it. Definitely pick up some of these Plum Crazy lowers for cheap if you can find them. Why the heck not? Give to a friend. Give them as a gift. Let somebody build something around if they want to. Again, the upper is your choice. I was going for something lightweight, something cheap, just to play around with it. I didn't have to worry about beating up. And this is it. And as you can tell, it's hardly beat up at all with a couple, 3 years worth of heavy use. All right, MD Prepper here on my little combo, what some will call Franken gun. Love it a lot. Total rifle, not just the rifle, upper and lower, not counting the reflex sight, was, I believe, right at $450. Maybe a couple bucks extra shipping. That is hard to beat for an AR-15, guys. That fires 5.56 and 223. Good purchase. Highly recommend you pick it up. MD Prepper out.